obviously a dynamic player. Just I looked it up. I haven't seen if you when you played him in the playoffs, but when have you played him?
I played him last year.
Okay.
I played him last year. We lost that game. It came down to the end, but we ended up losing that game. And Lamar is as dynamic as it gets. Early on in his career, they tried to say he was just a runner, and he's did nothing but prove that he's a total package. He can throw the ball, he can run the ball, he can do whatever it takes to win games, to put his teammates in great situations to win, and that's why he should be the highest paid player in the NFL, and that's why he should have the biggest contract out of all the quarterbacks, which will make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, and he's done everything that he could possibly do to put himself in a great situation for that. And I know that he's past it and he's not going to talk about it, but even though we got a competition and even though I want to win, I also I have respect for the game and I know what's right, and it's only right for the guys to get it done over there. I'm sure he wouldn't talk about it, and I'm sure he wouldn't go there, but I can, and
Respect the fact that he's betting on himself and get for a deal that he thinks.
Yeah, trust me, it's a tough situation to be in, to not have to not have anything promised, and you go out there and you're one of the fastest, most dynamic players in the world, and everybody's gunning for you, and hats off to him. He's handled it with respect. He's really put it off to the side to not make it a distraction with his teammates. He's done everything the right way. He's not, holding out and, letting it bleed all into the media. He's handled it so respectfully, and that's what you want, out of our young quarterbacks, out of our young players, and that's what you want out of the next generation that's coming up. So hats off to Lamar.
You've seen, obviously, mobile quarterbacks in the past, and including one that you call a teammate now. What makes Lamar, from your experience, unique?
Nobody's like Lamar, man. He's quick. He's twitchy. Any little space that he can get, he can take it the distance. He's a blend of all different players, and he can throw the ball. His base is a quarterback, but he can also move like a receiver and hit the edge like a running back and make guys miss like a running back and a receiver and all of these things. And he has a great supporting cast with his offensive line and his running backs and quick receivers, and he's the guy. It's really not a secret. I come up here. If I say anything other than that, then it'd be bulletin board material, because he really is the truth, and there's nothing but respect for the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson.
When you have a loss that's as emotionally, physically grueling as last week's was, how do you get ready for that next week, knowing the challenge that's ahead?
What loss? When was that? I don't remember that. That's the mindset that you got to have, man. You just got to keep pushing. I truly believe in my heart that I'm a winner, and you can accept defeat sometimes, because you shouldn't have been beat, or you shouldn't have lost that game, and if you had another crack at it, it would be different. And no disrespect to the Miami Dolphins or anything like that. We lost that day, but in my heart, I felt like if we had another crack at it, hopefully, the score would be different. But just got to move on, just got to forget about it. They played an incredible game, especially their defense, especially Tua, especially their receivers, and they took advantage of all the opportunities that they were given, and they came out on top. And with losses like that, you just gotta move. It's not the first game that I lost in the NFL. It's not my first game that I lost in life, and it's definitely probably not gonna be my last one. Even though we want to limit them, this season, but it's all good. And like I said after the game, it's good medicine. You take it on the chin and you keep pushing, and that feeling that you have after the game. After a certain amount of those, you don't want to feel that no more, and you're gonna do whatever it takes to win and do whatever it takes to come out on the right side of those. When we're presented with situations like that in the future. So, a loss every now and then is good. Last year with the Los Angeles Rams, we lost the last game of the season. It probably would have took us, if we'd have won that game, we would have been the number one seed and easy path straight into the Super Bowl. But we ended up losing that game, and it gave us a chip on our shoulder. We had one game at home versus the Arizona Cardinals. We had to travel to Tampa and face a really tough Tampa Bay team. The team that we that we lost to at the end of the season, they ended up going to Green Bay and beating a tough Green Bay team in sub-degree weather. Came back, we played those guys for a third time, which we hadn't beaten those guys in 7 games straight before then. And then we were able to grind out and win and go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. So, losses are, sometimes they're a reality check. Sometimes you just need to, bleed a little bit. Sometimes you need to take one in the mouth to know, like, hey, if I don't do everything right, if I don't do everything I could possibly do to win this game, even though that we did, you could still lose. And even if you do everything right, you could still lose games. That's just what makes our league great. So, everybody's handling it well. Just like I thought we would. I'm excited to see how we respond. I'm the type of guy, like, if I'm playing Madden or if I'm playing a video game and I lose, I want to run it back like right now. Like, come on, let's run it back. Let's play one more time. You really can't, do that in football. You gotta kind of simmer and let it sit with you, and gotta wait till the next Sunday to play. So I'm chomping at the bit to get back out there and play again.
Dane Jackson leaving the ambulance and seeing him out here today, although it was limited practice, it looked how kind of relief, how much of a relief is that? How happy are you to see him?
Yeah, I actually saw Dane the next day, and I talked with him, and you could just tell. Sometimes guys say they're all right, but you can kind of tell that they're not. He was saying he was all right, and I felt that he was all right. I could see it in his eyes that he was all right. And then you could kind of joke with him then, after you're on the good side of it now, you could kind of joke with him and say, man, you got a slinky neck, man. If you didn't have a loose neck like that, man, it could have been a little bit worse. You could kind of laugh about it, but it definitely was a serious situation, and it's just the ugly side of our sport, man. And it's just a true blessing that he was able to come out all right, and he's here at practice, and he should be ready to go this week, and it's just a true blessing. Like he's got some angels over him for sure. It was great. Like, it was a battle. It reminded me of those, those 80s John Elway versus Dan Marino, like a classic battle. Even though you got a great quarterback, sometimes the greats lose, but the way they fought back to the very, very end, like, that's what you want. Like, that shows a lot. If you got kids and stuff, and even though your son got beat up, but he showed a lot of grit, and he still, you could like, okay, he's gonna be something one day. He's tough. Even though it's no silver lining in losses, but man, that was a classic battle between two good quarterbacks, and I'm sure we'll have a lot more of those, man. And I love our guy, man, and he just showed you why he, should get all the accolades that he should get, man. He showed you why he is who he is. Even though everybody was banged up, and I'm not going to sit here and make any excuses, but it was just dope to, see my brothers go out there and fight to the very end, and heat and all this stuff. That's what football is about, man. Even though it was a gruesome day, like, it was for me, being 12 years in, it's like, bro, that was fun. Like, these are the games that you're gonna remember. Even though we lost, man, like, it was still fun for me. I'm not about to sit here and, go in the dumps and do this and do that. Like, I'm gonna move forward, but looking back on it, like, man, it was a fun day, man. Playing in front of that crowd, even though it was Miami fans there, man, it was a fun day. We came up short. Our guys battled, like, and I'm happy to call these guys my teammates and my brothers. This last past game, they did a great job. They did a really good job. They do a really good job at practice. Everybody in our secondary has been the guy at some point in time, like, whether that was high school, college. To get here to this point now, like, you just have to be the guy. It's other guys around you, but you have to have that confidence in yourself. You have to, feel like you can win the game by yourself, or you have to be the guy. You have to feel like you're the guy. You just can't, hide at this level. And all of those guys that are out there are capable of doing spectacular things. And, I've seen them do it at practice, and, we got a great supporting cast around those guys. You just can't single. Football is cool because you just can't single one guy out and just pick on them, You got myself up front, you got Tremaine and Matt Milano, and you got all type of guys around them, and that's why it's a team. That's why it's 11 guys out there, and you just blend everybody in, and you have a team. And, I feel confident in those guys. I feel confident in whoever we got, Brandon Beane has done a great job of building up this roster, man, and everybody on this roster can play, and I feel comfortable with whoever is out there. Not only because he got the guys, but I practice with these guys each and every day. I talk to them in the locker room. You know, you can feel the energy. You know, I just truly believe in these guys, man. I can look into their eyes and tell that they're ready to play and they're ready to go. So, you know, whoever we got that's out there, man, I'm confident that we have a great shot in winning whatever game that we're in.
Is there still maybe elevated self-consciousness knowing that has to get Lamar moving?
Yeah, you hit it right there on the button. Like, now we talking to. I just feel like I can win the game by myself. You know, that's just the type of pressure that I put on myself, and it's okay because I can. You know, I love high pressure situations. You know, and I might not come out on top in every high pressure situation. If I did, then it'd be a different story that we ever talking. But you know, I love being in high pressure situations. It makes me feel like alive. I love being tested. I love feeling like I got to go out there and I got to win the game by myself. You know, that's the type of pressure that I put on myself each and every game that I go out there, whether we had the stars or the all pros or whatever. I just feel like if I'm out there, then I can get it done. You know, and obviously this last game, I didn't do enough, you know, to help us win or get the job done. But we just let that go, and every time I walk out there, you got to believe that I feel like that I can win the game by myself. I can make a couple plays to change the tide at any given moment, and that's just the type of belief that I have in myself and the type of pressure that I put on myself. And pressure is definitely a privilege, and I feel great with that pressure on my back.
You only got a half sack.
Yep.
Is that good enough?
We lost, so it wasn't good enough. And to be honest, like, sacks and stuff is cool, man. I want to win the game. Yeah, I want to win the game. Like, I want to win the game and get a sack. That'd be cool. But
How difficult is it to bring that?
it's difficult, man. I started the interview off, you know, talking about how dynamic he was and how fast he is and how quick he is, and at any given moment he can take it 80 yards. Like, so it's definitely tough, but you know, I love this sport. I love the pressure that I put on myself, and I feel comfortable in the type of team that we'll be able to field on Sunday, and I'm excited to see how we respond.